Hey folks, how are you doing? I still have my Christmas lights at home, even though it's like end of January already. Nevertheless, today I wanted to talk to you about something that has sort of emerged in my recent conversation with our growth manager. And that is, well, don't confuse stickiness with Stockholm syndrome. So, if we measure user engagement just by pure activity inside your app, so like how often they log in, how much they interact with different features of your tool, like how many dashboards or experiences or whatever they've built, we don't really get a full picture of their level of engagement and especially their level of satisfaction. So, with some of the so called sticky tools, you may get high levels of user activity just because they have to use your tool, but in fact, they're having a horrible experience with it. And if it was up to them or if it was easier to move, right, they would like very likely and happily jump ship. So, some reason for this may be that basically your product experience is not that great, right? And that the users get stuck a lot and they feel frustrated about not knowing how things are working or not knowing how to make something work simply because you're not offering enough support in app, right? Of course, bad UX can sort of go beyond your in-app experiences. It can be just poor product design, or just things being buggy and unstable, but you can still fix a lot of things that pertain to user experience and translate into higher user engagement with in-app experiences. So I'm mentioning a few use cases below, a few situations in which your users may need instant reactive help in-app instead of being offered support by your support team, right? So first of all, first run user experience, they should know what they should start from, right? Then later on in the at later stages of their product journey, they should be able to find out, like what happens next if your tool has some kind of a resting state, right? So for instance, the user opts in for an A/B test in Userpilot, and we need some time to collect the data to actually run the A/B test before we can present them with experiment results. So without informing them how long it will take or how they will get the experiment results, they might think that something is not working. Another example is basically when your users are not discovering your secondary features and not unlocking more value, and then they come to your support, or maybe they write to your product team directly requesting a feature that you already have. In all these use cases, this contributes to lower user satisfaction and ultimately lower engagement, right? And yeah, your users will not be likely to stick around even if your product is very sticky. So don't confuse like sort of the forced stickiness where basically your product is holding the user's data hostage and making it so painful that they can't leave, with a true engagement and true stickiness because the users want to use your product, not because they have to. Is whenever there is this have to situation, someone always comes in and they offer a better experience, and they may often help your users migrate to their tool that will be just a smooth ride. So I think Nathan Barry of ConvertKit did that with his email marketing tool for creators when everybody was telling him that it doesn't make sense to compete against giants like MailChimp anymore. Well, he found a way. He offered the users to migrate all their drip campaigns, all their automations, all their systems for free so they could have a better experience. Well, and the rest is history. I think ConvertKit is like a $10 million ARR business now, something like that, but it's doing very, very well. You may want to check it out. Anyway, go check out this article about user engagement below, and I will see you next week. Next week, I'll be talking about how user activation and user acquisition interplay. And I already have that idea in mind. It's actually something I haven't talked about at all before. So yeah, stay tuned and see you next week.